I've said that social media is like a conversation, and the best way of addressing it is to think of it in terms of a conversation that's going on, or a series of conversations that are going on around the web. I like to think of it like a party that we've just turned up to. There's a lot of conversations going on. We don't know necessarily who the people are or what they're talking about. So the first thing you have to do when you walk into the room is to listen to what people are saying, what they're talking about, to try and get some idea of who they are, what their opinions are, and what prejudices and beliefs they might have. So the very first thing you have to do is set in place monitoring systems. We have monitoring systems which look at the background noise of conversations about our clients' brands, and we have information. We also look at try and find out who the influential people are in various conversations, if those influences do exist. So we try and keep an eye, not just in a sort of press clippings kind of way, but in an idea of how does information flow from one place to another. Once we've started listening, it's very hard not to get involved and respond. We don't have to respond in the same place. We don't have to respond to a forum post in the forum. In fact, we'd recommend quite often that our clients take the conversation into some space that they have some ownership of. So we're rather keen, for example, that our clients set up blogs just so they have a platform from which they can respond to what's being said about them elsewhere on blogs, whether positive or negative. You don't have to respond online. You can respond through traditional media. There are, with one of the great strengths that most brands still have is access to and credibility with traditional media. So by using channels where we can, or where we already have some strength to respond to what's being said online, is a very powerful way of working. And often the response isn't merely a here's what we think kind of response, or a sort of simple press statement response. Sometimes the response has to be more deep-rooted than that. So, for example, a few years ago, Hasbro, during one of their listening exercises, found comments on a forum about a product that they had made, in which it had turned out that a child had had an accident as a result of one of their products. And they acted very, very quickly and withdrew the product from market. Now, as it happened, the product was aimed at a much older age group than the child, and as it happened, there was a lot of doubt around whether this was an issue or not, but they acted quickly to avoid a potential issue. And that's a really remarkable sort of example of how you listen and respond. The third thing that one wants to do, and automatically if you want to do, is to start influencing the conversation, to start having some voice of your own in the conversation. And we've talked previously about the idea of these 5 areas of social knowledge: social sharing, social networks, social bookmarks, and social news. Getting involved in each of those areas and beginning to have a position and a presence, and knowing what your strategy is for each area, allows you to begin to influence the conversation around your brand and products. And the fourth and final thing, the last thing that you want to be doing, is enlisting people, getting them to join in on your side. Every brand, no matter what it is, has some fans out there, has some people who feel strongly about it. For whatever reason, they may be consumers, they may be retailers, they may be, in fact, even the employees of the company that make the brand, that make the product. But getting them on side and beginning to talk to also, as a chorus, rather than this idea of a brand talking as a single voice, trying to get the idea that actually what we're trying to do is get a harmony of lots of voices, all saying slightly different but complementary things, is where we're really ending up. A big mistake that a lot of people make when getting involved in this first time round is to jump straight to the enlist side of this business, to start off looking for those brand fans without having put into place the listen, the respond, and the influence parts of the strategy. So I've seen a number of times where people are saying, we'd like people to join YouTube and make videos for us on our behalf. It's a hard thing to do that when you haven't put the other 3 bits of the strategy in place.